Welcome to episode 27 of the Wetaskiwin WonkCast. We are here today in studio with Stephaniekapteyn and her mother. And your first name is?
Kathy.
Kathy, that's right. See, off screen, I should have asked you that, but I didn't. Stephanie is an artist with 2 years time put in at our gallery.
Which has been awesome.
And we are just super pumped to have her here today. Or I shouldn't say we, it's usually Justin's here hosting as well, but it's just me, guys. It's just me. So I'm going to do my best, but hopefully Stephanie and Kathy will do their utmost to do most of the talking, and you won't have to hear my voice.
Chatty Kathy.
Chatty Kathy, there you go. Stephanie, you've got a lot of styles in art. You're not stuck on one. Would you care to describe that?
Yeah, you know what? I think when I get inspired by, a picture or something that I've seen that just really draws to my heart, then I kind of go towards it. And I'm always kind of trying to push myself, just doing different things and seeing how far I can go. If I see someone who does a really cool water, I'm like, man, I want to figure out how I can do a real see-through water, or I just want to keep doing new things. So I don't know if I have a solid style, but I think if I were to go general on what I'm trying to portray is just, I don't know, it's through God and hope and just trying to make a difference.
Inspiration.
Little I can.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Are there any styles or particular genres that you will not do?
Oh, that's such a good question. You know what? I find it hard to do faces, people's faces. I don't know, if that's just over time that I'll do more faces. Things that I won't do. I don't like to do scary stuff. I like to do things that, when somebody sees it, they're not, freaked out. Yeah. Just because it doesn't warm my heart. If I wanted something in my house, that's just me. But I don't know. I try to think what would I like, and then I go from there, sort of thing.
And unless you're told maybe by a potential customer that this is what I want.
Yeah. You know what? And then I'd say to them, hey, I can try. I don't know if I can give you what you're looking for because I've never done that sort of thing. So if I were to do my best, I'd do better in let's say a scenery painting or something that has more of what I do. I don't know.
So just judging by the two styles that we've got of yours behind you, you've got the tiger eyes, which you've done probably a few years ago now.
Yeah. That's one of my first
story behind
paintings. Yeah.
Oh, there's a story behind that? Let's hear the dirt.
It's actually really cool. After grade 12, Steph said, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And I said, I think you're an artist. And she said, no, Mom, anybody can paint. And I was like, no, Steph, anybody cannot paint. That's for real true. And I was at our lawyer's. This is so weird. And there was a magazine with those tiger eyes. And I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I said, I ripped it out. I asked the guy if I could rip it out. Got that canvas, and I said, here, make me these eyes. And I think maybe 4 days later, she made those, and I go, see, Steph, you can. And then I think we had an art show soon after that, and did really well. So
good story.
She did not know that. She had no clue. I promise you that she was
my
good at this
at all. My mom's
all.
always been such a support in that way. She's always made me go further and further. I call her my momager. She seriously.
Your momager? Yeah. That's awesome.
I get perks and stuff.
She does get perks. I like to do something. Well, I mean, I don't give as much as she gives me, but yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That might change one day. Remember, she's, I hate to say it, but she's going to get old like the rest of us. You might have to look after her, right? So.
It's very true.
Nah, Mom will never get old. Are there any art styles that you want to try, but you're just going, I don't know if I can...
I would love to do a face, to be honest with you. I would love to do a really realistic portrait. I don't even know, something with, an extreme feeling. Okay. I don't know, it could be a homeless person, it could be... But I would like to do it in a really large format,
Large format, you mean size?
Size, yeah.
Huge.
A 10 feet by 20 feet or something.
Okay, that would be really...
Maybe not quite that big,
a mural?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, what's been nice since I've quit my job is that, it's scary, but at the same time, I get to have the freedom of doing these things, and I think I'm just finally learning that I can do that, even though maybe someone won't like it. It's hard because you want to paint things that people like and whatever, but I think there's a part where I just have to kind of do my own thing, just
Definitely.
give it my
She's
go.
just finding her way now.
People have been so supportive. Like, I'm so surprised. Like, they're always commenting amazing things, so I don't know why I get worried about it. So I think if I try new stuff, people do like it. So
Yeah, and it's going to be, there's always going to be haters too.
Totally,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter who you are
It's
or what
true.
you do, there's going to be haters. So
It's
just
true.
try to focus on the
haters
positive.
gonna hate, you know?
Yeah, let them hate.
Taylor Swift.
Let them be miserable. Who cares, right? What was your other than the tiger eyes? What was your inspiration to keep painting? I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the encouragement of all the people and just like the constant new things that be happening. Like, for example, I did like a little logo for my old boss, actually. She's starting like a little Hillsdale farm sort of thing. And she asked me to do the logo. And actually, I was in Granville Island one time and I asked this lady who was like painting, and I was like, how did you know like you'd get to this place? And she's like, how did you get here? And like, when did you know you'd be an artist? And she's like, people just kept contacting me. And I feel like lately it's just been like kind of continual things that encourage me to be like, okay, like this is the right direction I'm going. Because it is scary, right? Like you don't know, hey, should I be going in this direction, graphic design, you know, but I'm doing it in different aspects, so it's been really great.
And there's no reason why you couldn't go both directions at some point.
Totally.
Too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Not
There's
just
more
stick
freedom.
painting, right?
As the doors open,
Yeah,
we go through.
yeah,
Well,
totally.
And
definitely.
if they keep opening, keep going through.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's how you grow.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cool. As some people can see now, there's some pictures scrolling through beside you. These are all your works of art, and look at that, a bear on a cup. That's awesome. I got to get me one of those. And look, you do
I know.
furniture.
I should have brought you one.
That's okay. That's cool.
The bear is one of my favorites, to be honest. But
And you've done also some furniture here.
yeah, I put that in my room, and it was just something I really wanted to accomplish. And it's a lot of work, hey,
Yeah.
to do all the sanding and
I remember that. You had that in the gallery here for a little while.
totally.
King Kong. That came in about the same
King
time
Kong.
as Josh's came in.
Some people say Harambe. That's the raindrop.
That is the raindrops.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was actually on an airplane.
Explain this one.
This is one of my favorites. Honestly, so Star Wars, you can't really copy Star Wars, so I pretty much did that for my dad for his birthday.
Yeah.
And people love Chewbacca, so it's so sad that I can't like do more of them. But I was outside one day and I was wearing like those goggles and it was super snowy, and all of a sudden I was like, I look just like, I forgot his name.
Chewie?
No,
Kylo
Han
Ren
Solo.
or Han Solo. Yeah.
Han Solo. And I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of that. And then I actually started, editing that out myself. Photoshop. I was like, hey, I found an app and I photoshopped it out. I just spent like a couple hours. And yeah, everyone was really excited
She got
about
really
it.
high response on that. Because
I
it
bet.
was snowing
Chewbacca.
just like it because she had goggles. It was
Oh yeah,
crazy.
totally. Yeah. So,
We gotta
And
have
this-
fun with it once in a while, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and see the different styles I'm looking at. I mean, you got a frog.
Cartoon, yeah. That was kind of for our greeting cards too.
There's
yeah.
one of my favorites, the tiger eyes.
Hungry eyes.
See, you can sing too. The horse.
Yeah.
I mean, your use of obviously blue is one of your favorite
Yes.
colors.
Totally. Yeah,
I
I'd
can see
say
it in
blue.
almost everything you do.
Good call, because she doesn't have a style, but she has a color.
color,
and
yeah.
a lot of it is blue in there.
It's very true.
And we're going to get to that discussion in a little bit.
Okay, for
but
sure.
You were here last year and did a Taste of Wetaskiwin.
Wow.
There was 5 of you up on stage. And your painting of the buffalo, and that's why I say blue, because that was your main color in that.
Yeah.
Was amazing. I love that.
Thank you so much.
I couldn't afford
Look
it.
at all these blues. I just love it. Blue's my favorite color too.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Changed my life 100%.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'd say when me and Mom walked in there, for one,
I was
she's like,
underdressed.
I'm underdressed. We're like, are you kidding me?
I remember.
The
Yeah,
worst
yeah,
feeling of
exactly.
my
She's
life.
like, I am underdressed. And there was a big balloon arch, and we were just in shock. Like, we kind of had an idea, but I had no idea it was that big.
Right.
And so going in there, I just felt like I couldn't believe it. Like, I felt like honored, and I couldn't believe that I was up there. And yeah, I think it changed my life in just realizing that this is where I want to be, and this is right. You know, like, it just was a solid, and I think kind of after that is when I slowly was thinking maybe I need to go more hard on what I'm doing, you know, like, so yeah, that was huge, humbling. I think we just couldn't stop talking the whole drive home. It was just like...
Yeah, I can imagine the conversation between you. Non-stop, probably.
On the way there, maybe we argue and we're...
No.
a little bit when we're driving, but then, yeah, it's awesome.
And being up there and watching people walk up and putting their name on that piece of paper, because it was a live auction, right? And looking down going, wow, people are probably digging this.
We had an amount in our mind, and we're like, well, if he gets to that, and I was like,
I would have been happy with anything.
It's past that, and then it's past that, and then...
Yeah.
And then people, all of a sudden, one lady's like, what? She's like saying the numbers, and I'm like trying not to freak out. Like, I'm like just talking normal, like trying to whatever. And I don't want to be all like, oh, look at me. Like, that's actually, to be honest with you, that's what's hard about this. Is like, I never thought, well, I'm slowly becoming more that type, but to be in front of people like that scares me so, so bad. And I think I'm just slowly learning that I can do that. And so, you know, my insides are shaking, even just like right now, but I just try to like...
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just be yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And people respect that more.
I think you're so right. You're so right.
As a musician, I know what it's like to get up on a stage the first few times and go, well, what the heck am I doing up here, right? But after a while, I'm not going to say it totally goes away. It doesn't. Yeah. But you're able to control it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a certain comfort level when you're up there, right?
Yeah, and it also depends on the people you're with, too. I mean, if you've got good bandmates or good artists or people with you that you know you can trust and rely on, you feel more at ease. Right. And then you start interacting with each other and you're having fun, and then you just kind of forget everybody that's out there to a degree. Not totally forget them, but that's how I handle it anyway.
No kidding.
But now I don't get nervous before I go up on stage. I know what I have to do, and you rehearse it enough that...
True.
You know, if you do screw up, life goes on.
In your mind, you're thinking everyone's going to boo, but really, that's never going to happen.
Well, that's...
Why is your mind saying that?
Yeah,
you're like,
the mindset. Well, you're taught that when you grow up.
Yeah.
Everything's... First thing most people think of is the negative stuff.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
And if we could just get people to think the opposite way, you're perfect, now prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's just the way I...
Yeah.
Mm. Anyway, enough about me. This is about you.
That doesn't matter. I want to learn more about...
Well, that'll be another podcast. A different style of podcast. Are there any types of, let's say like Van Gogh, for instance. I mean, is he an inspiration to you at all? Or any of those older Gogh or... Yeah,
you know what? I love Starry Night. To me, that one that's the right word, right? Like, sorry, yeah. I love the movement. For me in art, I have a few key things that I like. Yeah. And I like movement. I think it's important to kind of have it off the canvas. I think it's important to have pop of color. Yeah. I think sometimes I have to tone it down, and like that I always bring out the brightest colors. And the latest painting I did was clouds, and I had to kind of make it more light, but
subtle.
There's something about I love how he changed things. You know, there's certain artists that you're just like, wow, like you made it how we are now.
Now,
you know?
Have you ever seen any of his art work?
I went to New York. And I actually in high school, and I wasn't as into art at all in high school as I am now. Mm-hmm. But when I was there, I was actually stunned just by the amazing art, like New York, right?
Yeah.
Like. And so I think...
Talk about an art mecca.
Oh, right? Wow.
Yeah. It was for art. She was in art class.
Like, so we were, like, exhausted by the end of the day, like, just going crazy to each one of these. I think, we went to quite a few different... Yeah, that was pretty awesome. The
reason I ask you is because I've actually saw a collection of Van Goghs in Ottawa. I went to the art museum, and it's not... To me, art is not just colors, it's texture. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge amount of texture on Van Gogh stuff. I mean, I was really, really shocked at how thick a paint he used. I mean, it to me, I mean, from a distance, you're only allowed to get so close to it. But, I mean, to a distance, it looked like it was
layered.
Quarter inch to a half an inch off. I mean, it was just so thick. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. And I thought, and it made you kind of want to go up and touch it, but don't dare do that, right?
Yeah, could you imagine?
You'll get thrown out right away. But.
He's out.
So that's my thing. I love the colors, but it's also, I want to be able to see that it's almost three-dimensional, that texture.
The depth.
Yeah, that's
the
interesting
depth,
you say
sure.
that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Because you know what? I think, like, the wave, I don't know if you saw on the other one, but it's
Thick.
it's thicker.
Okay.
And for some reason, like, when I got into it, I never went to school, so I didn't know what was kind of the best, like, thin or whatever, and so I wasn't sure, because, like, if an expert, you're not supposed to have it thick, but it actually, there is no solid
rules
way.
Right, no.
And so I thought to myself, what would I like? Thick is so much, like, imagine a wave and its movement and power.
Yeah.
You'd want that to kind of stick out, right?
Yeah.
No, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think that even that inspires me right now, just to kind of, like, you know, bring on that thick and see that paint coming out, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Because, and I'm not being negative all, but I think on that, like, I didn't get a chance to get close enough to that buffalo painting to spend a lot of time with it.
Totally.
But I think with the horns, you might have been able to thicken that up, just to kind of bring that out a little bit. I mean,
So neat. Yeah.
I know what I like, but I mean, that would have been really cool.
What I don't understand is how she got the smoke coming out of his nostrils to look silver yellow.
Yeah, that
kind of blew my mind. You know,
we're going to be scrolling past that one here.
That's the one you're talking about. That's
the
thickness on there.
And these pictures do it no justice whatsoever. Again, we're going to get back to that in a minute. Well, let's just jump right into that. Art instruction. You started doing that too.
Yes.
I mean, that must have been a bit of a pitter-patter on the heart and a big leap, right?
I tell you, the latest one that I did was in at Park Lighting. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's in Edmonton. It's cool. It's a big lighting place. So for one, it's really hot in there.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So I tell you, I was sweating. Like, I really was. And Mom was actually out of town. She was in Florida. But my sister, so I hired my sister and her friend. And it was just kind of like, okay, like, now I am the person doing this. Like, there's no one to fall back on. It's all on me.
Right.
You know, if I forget the brushes, I'm hooped.
Well, that would suck.
I know, you know, you're thinking in your head, please tell me they're in there. But I prepped a long time, and I think what's cool about that is, like, people are just wanting to learn, and they're excited to learn. And I love how everyone's turns out different. Like,
oh, yeah.
I know, like, you know, usually you kind of want it to look a certain way, like you do. But at the same time, like, I've seen people, like, we do trees looking up. That was the last one there. And I've seen people take the trees and make them move, you know? And I'm like, that is such a neat idea.
Yeah.
So I just like seeing what they turn out with. And that people are always hard on themselves. They're like, I can't paint. I can only do stickman. And
again, the negative.
They surprise themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're like, wow, look at that. Like, they're actually proud of themselves. Usually at the end, they're like, I did this.
Well, I'm going to have to take a class with you one day because I'm a stickman person.
So am I. I don't like paint night.
And see, some people just go crazy, and they're the ones having fun, and then the other ones, like,
me,
are tense. But you know what? It's hard. Every person's different in how they, like, relax. So painting sometimes isn't relaxing for some people.
I'm artistic, but not on the canvas. Like, for real. Like, I love lots of different art and design, but not painting or drawing.
Right. Leave that to the professionals.
I
right?
do very much
exactly.
leave that to the girl.
She's interior designer.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Any plans of doing any more? There's that buffalo.
Yeah.
There we go.
That is awesome.
You know what? I'm around such awesome artists, and the whole night I just felt like honored, and people were saying such nice things, and I honestly changed my life that moment, and
that's cool.
It was just kind of validated a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like I was just like,
that's
this is
you know, it was a bit of a growth, like, you know, you go from a certain level to just like kind of shot her up a little bit, like maybe this is good.
Yeah,
because you're always doubting.
There's no maybe about it.
You're always doubting yourself. You are like even till the end of the painting. No, I love it. So
it's good to see the smile on your face too.
I love her.
Whenever you start talking about art, I can see both your eyes just light right up. It's amazing because we've talked off camera and stuff. And, you know, you just
totally.
But as soon as art comes into it, you can just see your eyes right there. Just got bigger. It's just cool. If there was an artist, dead or alive, who would you want to talk to?
Wow. Oh, that's a really hard one.
Like you look at one of their paintings, you go, how did you do that?
You know, I would say Van Gogh would probably be one that I would be like, man, I would love to talk to you, because I just recently watched a video about him and how he would have the same colors in one painting that are usually kind of depressing colors, so red and green together. And then they're both side by side, and one was really sad, and then for some reason he could make the other one have a happy feeling to it. And I think like for him to have that kind of technique on how to get something very similar look completely opposite. And there's something about, I think mostly art is about emotion. I do. And I think it's about how someone feels when they see something. So if he can somehow capture that from one just different line or whatever, it makes art that much more interesting.
And would it have something to do with maybe just the subject matter too?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So there you go. I think you just answered your own question.
Totally.
But that would be, I'd love to talk to him. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So what about you? It's hard.
It is. There'd be so many. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I like old stuff too.
Art-wise, I think it would be any of the guys back in the Renaissance days.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, way back then, musician-wise, I'd really like to just sit down and pick Elvis's brain. I'm not a huge Elvis fan musically, but as a person, I want to know more.
I love Elvis.
Well, I'm not saying I don't like it.
No, yeah. Like, if you could get in there.
Yeah.
One thing I love about him is that he would say, or the guys would say, once the concert was over, he just wanted to jam longer until he was tuckered right out. Music to him was life, you know? And I think same with Michael Jackson too. Like there's the two top that you just cannot.
They're totally different,
like,
but they're such artists you respect both.
Stunning, you know?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But they breathed and they were kind of crazy in a way.
Well, they had to live it.
Yeah.
You know, and the press and social, well, not back then, but social media and stuff, a lot of pressure.
Yeah. But I think they're on a higher level of, like, just themselves, you know what I mean? Like, they breathed it. Like, it was almost like that took over everything in their life. Yep. But that's what made them so great, is because that is everything, you know? Like, not saying you should take out family and whatever, but, you know, when you look at that, they just had this artist level, you know? Yeah. So, pretty cool.
Turn that tables on me there.
Try to connect it all.
Yeah. Is there a role model in your life right now that you're going, man, if it wasn't for that person, I wouldn't be where I am or what I'm doing? Or
yeah, I'd say it's the one right beside me, this lady. So if I were to say, and of course God would be top for me, because I think that you need to live a life out and to follow someone as a person of who you want to be, and I think he was selfless. And I say the same thing about my mom, and she honestly went through the hardest things a woman can go through, and cancer, stage 4, and I just like her fighting, you know, maybe not even for herself, but for her kids and for the people she loves. I think, to me, it's something so honorable, and you know, she acts like it's not a big deal, and you know, it blows my mind. I know, and I think, like, if I were to aspire to be like someone like selfless and trying to make a difference, it would be like my mom. And she's always pushed me forward. You know, like she's always been the one backing me and telling me.
It's not hard to back her.
No.
Yeah, but you know what?
Easy.
I'm telling you, not everybody has supportive parents, and you know, both of my parents have always, you know, pushed me, and I don't think I could have done it without that. And so,
and sometimes you need that little push too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I need
kind of like the tiger eyes being ripped out of the book. Do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And there you go. The rest is history.
Totally.
Well, I was going to allude to, you mentioned God, and I was going to say he's got a lot to do with. I say he.
No, that's
sorry.
That's
got a lot to do with the inspiration in some of your work as well.
Yeah.
The one painting I did. Or I do remember, I think you mentioned on Facebook, is where you have, I think it's a portrait of yourself walking towards the ocean.
Yes, so that's actually my friend Cassie.
Okay, I said it was somebody that you knew. So
yeah, exactly. Looks like my mom or my sister too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a series of Women of God, and it's kind of interesting because Mom also is an example of a woman of God for me. And I think it's just living a life of faith, and it's hard. I mean, to talk about things like that, I find it's just like, people can, I don't know, I guess parts of me was afraid in the past to talk about God because, you know, people have their idea of what they believe in. And the more I actually talk about God and what I believe, the more people actually respond really, really well. And, yeah, I guess that one kind of her walking away and the things that she's been through and how you can still enjoy life. I think when you go through these really hard times, you can get stuck there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with God, for me, it's just been, he's the one that makes me know my purpose and that there is more to life than these hard things. Because, you know, you could be walking around, you know, don't jump in the water. Like, you know, one thing Mom does is we'll be walking on a path and she'll splash in the water. And to have that childlike, you know, faith and to just know that there's more and a purpose, I think that's why I love it.
And look at the little things, like to take time to you know, crack the ice on that water, and you know, everything is not serious. It's just like you can look at the little flowers or the little, like, just the small things in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And the biggest thing, too, for me is also God about his unconditional love. And I think a lot of people go through life with not perfect parents, or they go through times where they don't have anybody around them. And for me, it's a real relationship with God. Like, it's real. Like, I can talk about it like it's like, yeah, he's here and I believe it. So it's really cool to be able to use my art as kind of like a base for what I truly believe in.
And sending a message.
Totally, and of hope. You know, like this life isn't, you know, easy. And so.
No, life is not easy by any means. Let's see here. Was it last year or the year before, you and Josh and Chris Day One Carlson? I think it was 2 years ago.
I think it was the first year I came here. Yeah.
Are any plans of the three of you getting back together again and doing anything? Or?
I think we should. I know Josh is working on his house right now, building his house.
He's pretty busy.
Yeah, he's really busy. But I think it would be really cool to come back here again and just kind of have a nice art. I love that. Was so much fun.
Well, you guys were here like 5.5 hours or something. It was that was the longest Facebook feed I've ever done. But it was fun.
I think also, I mean, even being in this gallery, like, you've always made me feel special. Like, you know, like...
Well, you are.
Well, I know, but, you know...
In a good way. Coming
in special.
He's not even letting me compliment him. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, you know, that was also really huge for me. Like,
absolutely. Shaking
and being in this gallery and, you know, Josh saying, you know, come check it out. I remember hearing your voice for the first time, and I'm being nervous, right? Like, I'm just starting out. Like, it's not like I've been in multiple galleries. So for you, I mean, then, that led to the Wetaskiwin thing, and it's just kind of, this has been a big start for me. Like, even talking here, like, this is so cool. Like, I'll never forget this. I'll never.
See, it's fun. I told you it was going to be fun. And notice your voice has come up, like you said.
Yes. There you go. I'm going to start,
well, speaking of, I know you've got lots of stuff coming up, and I know some stuff coming up that you maybe don't even know about. After this, we're going to go over to the museum next door, and we're going to go talk to Karen over there. Shout out to Karen. Also, I know for a fact that the Taste of Wetaskiwin is happening again this year.
It's awesome.
But it's going to be in a bigger venue.
Wow.
It's going to be at the Drill Hall, which is double the size of what you were last year. No pressure.
Well, if they'll have me
but we can't get into too many details there, but that's going to be part of our conversation later today.
Good. That makes me want to know now, like, whoever's watching is going to be like, come on, give us more.
Nope. You're going to have to suck it up till October.
Ooh.
I think it's October. September, sorry. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay, no more.
But getting back to the thing with you and Josh and Day One, Chris Carlson, it was awesome having you guys here. And I was a little nervous too, because we've only been doing this, my wife and I, for 3 years. I mean, we're still relatively new at this as well, but we do more than just art. We do art printing, but I'm not here to promote myself.
No, that's awesome.
And that's what I want to do here in the gallery, is promote you guys, because if you guys succeed, we succeed.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And I will do everything I can to promote you, and even more so when I like you. If I don't like you, you're probably not going to be in my gallery. Right?
That's true.
with that being said, it's positive vibes. Let's keep that there.
Well, and you have passion for the art too, which is really cool.
I do.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And the thing about me is I've changed a lot over the last few years where I want to see others succeed.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Not so much. I'm happy if you're happy.
That's my motto.
That's pretty selfless.
That's the old age in me coming out, right? It's like when I was younger.
Teddy bear in you.
Yeah, there you go, teddy bear in you. I don't know. I've just changed my attitude. Whereas I just have a lot of fun seeing people have fun.
But when you take your eyes off yourself, it changes everything, and then somehow you still get the benefit of it, the blessing
Take
of it.
your eyes off yourself. I like that.
For real. Like, as soon as you do that, something changes and you serve others, and then it comes back to you even bigger than you thought.
Yeah.
So
it feels you're empty, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I get addicted to giving stuff. And I have to tone it down. Because it's like, they think it's for them, but it's like, I get this high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you're like, hey,
I know exactly
like,
what you mean.
enough.
My wife's always giving me crap because I'm giving people discounts all the time. Like that. It's like, well, it just
like,
makes me feel good that I can do
I'm going to give that away. I'm like, whoa, Momager is going to talk right now.
Momager.
Settle down.
But, you know, there's a part of you that has to do that, I think, and it's important in life.
Keeps you humble, too.
Well, what do you want to be remembered for, you know? So.
Yeah, a selfless person or...
Greedy Gretchen.
Yeah. I'm going to start doing these hashtags, Greedy Gretchen and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So any travel plans? Like, are you going to go to Europe? Are you going to go to the east end of our country? Are you going to go to the States? I mean...
That's a good question.
Is there a place you'd like to go and just spend a couple months and say, you know what, I'm just going to sit here and eat and paint?
I'd like to go to Europe.
Yeah.
My grandparents and their grandparents were all Dutch. So, like, also a couple of the people in our family were artists, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Bessemer.
Nice.
What's his first name again?
Clement
Bessemer. So he was a Dutch artist. And, I also love the history of art, too. And, Holland would be pretty neat to check out. And just my past. And in Europe, too, would be awesome.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't just want to go to Holland. Could you imagine? But, right now I'm just saving quite a bit, and I don't know what the next step will be, but I think I get a lot of inspiration going to Europe and, taking some pictures and bigger life perspective, and I'm always open to new things. Like, when I went to Africa, never had the, real draw to it, but when I did, it changed my life.
You stumbled into something good, right?
Yeah.
She actually taught the little orphans to do painting.
Yeah, it was really
before
cool.
She even was like an artist, I think. And all these little kids are holding up their paintings at Steph.
Why does that not surprise me?
No, it's making me sound
all
too
these
good.
Little kids.
And then she also goes to Prague. Like, it sounds like no, it just
She's
honestly
feeding
was,
the orphans.
Yeah.
But you did.
Working in the soup kitchen.
I think part of it too is I've been given so much. Like, I have a lot. So to be honest with you, I think that when you're given more, you need to give more. So I don't know why I got this life, but I think that I should be using it to help others. And same with what you were saying, keep giving, right? Mm-hmm. So it's important.
Wouldn't it be cool to go back in the old days and say, okay, this is how the paint was made, and learn all those steps as well? They had to created their own paints. They couldn't just go to Walmart and buy paint or whatever your favorite paint store is. But, so to learn that step would be fun too.
You'd appreciate it.
You'd have to be part chemist, I think.
You would. Yeah, no kidding.
And you wouldn't waste as much paint, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's true. I always squirt too much paint on there, and I'm like, oh.
There's paint everywhere in my house.
That I believe too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a picture of you and Josh and Chris, and you're working on the Tupac painting that's out there, which is still hanging.
And that painting behind you, that one blew my mind with the water droplets on it's like a little weed or whatever.
It's a forest weed.
And if you see that one in person, the more it sits across from you, the more you'll see. It just starts to move and come alive. It's not fair that one left me.
Yeah, she always gets upset when we're gone.
Well, you're going to have to do another one.
I'm going to have to get rich.
Buy it back, right?
What I like about that one is it was kind of a weed. It's just this little... There's ugly. It's technically, you wouldn't think twice, but someone else took that picture and they wanted me to paint it, but they just saw the beauty in something that's just...
Well, eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Any future plans? Would
Marriage.
you like to have your own... Hear that, guy?
She is single.
She is single.
No,
There
but you
go.
know what? I'm not trying to be like that because I have really liked to see where.
Well, I would. No.
No, sorry. Let's not even get into
6'3"
that.
And that's not even the little things, right?
I like farming. No, just kidding.
Farming. Oof.
Farming?
No, I don't like farming. Yes,
No,
I love.
she likes
I'm an
acreage.
outdoors.
She likes
I like outdoors, and I don't want to do this. I don't know why I did that.
future plans.
My future plans, I would love to see where my art goes. I'm open to it. I think that's why I am single, to be honest. Well, that's not the only reason, but I think it's also because it's neat to see where my art has been going. I don't think I would necessarily be as towards that if I was to.
You're concentrating on
be married.
yourself
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. And that's hard too. I mean,
Right. Being single's got its perks too.
it does, yeah.
But as far as that goes, like, would you like to have your own gallery one day, or?
Actually, okay, I have exactly what I want to do. Okay,
Okay.
so this has always been a dream. I've always wanted to take an old building. Like, I love the buildings here in Wetaskiwin, like the brick and the, and I'd like to take an old building and I'd love to turn it into a studio / place where artists can kind of rent out their own little space. So they almost have a little mini areas, and then also teaching art. And I don't know if like you could also do things like for the homeless or for people who just like a night where they just want to come in there and can express themselves, like multiple things to one building, like a bigger building.
Yeah.
So kind of like a studio, kind of like, a bunch
A whole
of little things.
mishmash of different good things.
And I think like, Day One and Josh, to get all the different artists together, I think like they feed off each other. We always try to act
definitely.
independent.
Yep.
And when you have all these people together, you start talking, you start making like big things happen. So
Get your creative juices going.
yeah,
right?
exactly. In art class, I talked way too much. It's like, can you just focus? I'm like, so what are you trying to do here?
Can't stop her.
Yeah,
She's-
exactly.
Social media. So you are on Facebook, and what else do you
Instagram, and then I have a Wix website as well.
have? Wix?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I tried that once, and it was just the UI.
a lot of
I didn't
work.
like it.
It's a lot
But
of
that's just personal preference. So right now we're here at your Facebook page. It's art by Stephaniekapteyn. Got it
You
right?
got it.
Yay! So if you want to see any of Stephanie's artwork, she's got lots of it here. We're going to go
Totally.
to the photos, and you can just click on her albums. Anybody knows how to use Facebook knows how to do that.
Facebook
this
started
one,
everything for me, to be honest.
this one here, you were talking about. You did
Yeah.
a logo for these people.
Yeah.
And can you explain that story one more time?
So I actually used to work at Tickled Floral, a little flower shop, and she wanted to start doing local flowers and grow them herself.
In a greenhouse.
In a greenhouse. So she's like, hey, Steph, I love to do a logo. Could you do this for me? So that's in watercolor. And she wanted a bluebird in there, and then she had kind of an idea what she wanted, and so I painted it, and
She lets you kind of have some free reign
Yeah,
on it.
totally,
Cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's what I find so interesting about art is there's so much that you can do with art that you could never imagine, like
Yeah.
painting
Opportunities.
somebody's windows, or that's like there's just so many things, So that's what I love about it. You can branch out.
Yeah, and
So-
you mentioned earlier the texture in your
So that's
painting. So
it's funny.
That to me, that really enhances it.
I agree. And it's really interesting. We were talking about Van Gogh. My brother recently showed me this video on him, and that's when I got inspired to do that texture. So I think it is important to check out those artists and, just to get inspired by, what people have done in the past.
Okay, you owe an explanation.
So can we
on this
start
one.
it? Cody. Okay. I love him because he's not my dog, but he is my neighbor's dog.
Okay.
And sometimes they get to go out of town, and I get to house sit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is just so relaxed, and I just stuck those glasses on him, and then he is uncomfortable. Like, I know he doesn't like it, but he just sits there for you. And I love that kind of unconditional love about him and how relaxed he is as a
So
dog.
is that your reflection in the glasses there?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is my reflection. Me taking a picture of him, and I
That's
think
cool.
that's my kind of. I love that style of art. It's kind of
And
fun.
you've also got art in other galleries as well.
I have.
This place here, I use place because I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, so that's a little coffee shop, Confections Cake Co.
Right.
They're just in St. Albert. They're not like a gallery, but they have lots of art, like local artists from St. Albert.
I know Josh is in there.
Yeah, so that's been really nice too. And then I've been doing a few paint nights in that place, and yeah, they do custom cakes, so they're pretty cool. I like them
really
a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
You said this is one of your favorite.
Oh yeah,
pieces.
100%. So
that's not the entire thing.
No, yeah. I love the movement in it. I love the shape of it. It was a photograph. The guy who wanted me to do this painting, that was a place.
Oh, so this is a commission piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go to this place, and I guess they had a buddy that gave them a good price because it's really expensive to stay there. And I just love the movement of that painting and the feel of it, and I obviously love the blue in there. So.
And part of your marketing?
Yeah.
Now, is this your idea or is this Mom's?
So this,
Nope, that's
that was my idea. I guess I'm always trying to find kind of fun ways that you can have my art, and not everybody can afford the bear or and so it's kind of fun that people can have that. And
that's cool. And you've also got the T-shirts and the coffee cups.
We're both wearing the T-shirts today, and
We actually put the same one on.
Yeah, we did.
Is it the same one? Except mine's gray.
Yeah,
and
hers
long
is gray.
sleeved.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
This is actually a mural on her wall. She said, "Can I paint my room? Can I paint my wall?" I was like, "Give her."
Wow.
I like those colors. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to see what you can do with it. And those are I love the mugs. I'd say the mugs are because I love coffee so much. So, I know. I'm so excited to bring
I
you a
drink a
mug.
pot a day easy.
Yeah.
Cold or hot, I don't care.
I agree.
Getting back to that buffalo, there
Yes.
it is. I mean, I just love that.
And he's big.
Yes.
That's a big painting.
That was 36 by 48 or something. Yeah, it was pretty
That
big.
sounds actually very right. I don't remember exactly, but that sounds like 2 feet by
4?
No, not
No.
36. That's even bigger.
That's 3 feet by.
Yeah. No,
It
so
was this big.
maybe it was this by that. It's quite long. But
For those of you who can't see, this by that means about 3 by 4.
I did bring my measuring tape.
I've got one here too.
And she
Anyway,
does watercolors too. I don't know if you ever see, some of them are that she started, like, see that rooster or those, like that watercolor is amazing. And that was really early on. She's like, "Oh, Grandma likes roosters, I'll just make one." I was like, "Are you joking me?
I'll just make
I'll
one.
just try it out." Anyway.
Some
I like to see
some
her do
people
a
are
little
lucky.
more-
I'll just make one. Okay, sure.
Well, when I have a space to decorate, I just
Totally.
get her to.
So you're using different mediums. You're using acrylics. You're using
watercolor.
watercolors, pencil drawings at all.
You know
or-
what? I'd love to get more into pencil. Maybe that's when I would start doing faces more because I find it a little easier to do a face
A
in
little
pencil.
more detail too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's some amazing pencil art, so I'd really like to do that. I bought some molding clay, and I was doing a little bird yesterday, and I would love to just test the waters out and see if I could do that. And I always think it's
Ventured,
cool.
nothing gained, right?
That's right.
Josh does
Absolutely.
really cool big sculptures.
Oh yeah, he
metal
does. He
work
does
and
wood and metal
I love
and
that,
painting,
so-
and he's a finger painter.
Yeah.
Crazy talented.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Good guy too. A little on the crazy side.
Agreed.
That's another podcast. Social media again. Sorry, you said Facebook,
Yeah, Facebook's huge.
But Instagram.
Instagram.
She's
Instagram, I
got quite
really
a
like
following on
Instagram.
Instagram.
I recently got onto Instagram. So I first started off Facebook in 2014, and that's when I was just slowly showing people my art and a little more nervous. Now I find I can be more bold and the things I say because people are really into it. So I feel like I can kind of open my heart up more. And then
a little more vulnerable.
a little more vulnerable,
Yeah.
which is scary because sometimes I'll post something and I only want it to be something that touches people's heart. And you always worry people are going to get somehow offended because you know how it is, right? People
Oh, yeah.
are pretty touchy these days with pretty much anything. But I'm not. Yeah, so I just want to. So that's been cool. But Instagram, I really
It's
like.
fun because you can get all her pictures just like that.
The
You
more-
don't even have to be
Yeah, it's simple.
Facebook. It's just all of the pictures, right?
And then doing my
Yeah,
it's a
story,
medium, yeah.
having fun. I don't know, on Instagram story, I like to kind of show myself and I like to have fun.
Yeah,
and
she does crazy
it
stories.
kind of gets to, so.
She's not too crazy.
There's stories of the dog in there too.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah.
But she's not old enough yet. And you're still young.
Yeah,
how old are
exactly.
you? If you don't mind my asking, how old are you now?
I am 25.
Really?
Yeah, 25, yeah.
Oh, I would have said 22.
I love you. If you think I'm 22, that makes me
That's
happy.
what I'm telling everybody. So, she's not very old. She's in her early 20s, maybe 21, 22. So,
that's
that's
funny.
amazing.
25. It's all
And
how
we
you
get a
just-
lot of really positive feedback on your art that's
Awesome.
currently in our gallery,
It's really cool.
which reminds me we're going to have to maybe do a swap out on a couple
Yeah, totally.
just for fun. Keep
Yeah.
it fresh,
I
right?
love
Yeah.
that.
That one right there on the screen. That is a stunning painting. That it's
Oh, the eyeball, yeah.
No, not the eyeball. It's a boat. It's a catamaran on water. It's
It's a sailboat sort of
sailboat. Oh, I can't. Anyway, that one I don't get to have either.
Oh, no, it left
But the
too-
depth of that one, it's pretty recent. She made that when we were in Florida. That is unreal. Oh, maybe you can bring in that one big painting here.
Yeah, totally. And it's nice because it's not snowing anymore. It's hard to get out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since the weather's so nice, I can whip over here any time.
And
Oh, yeah.
you're even doing rocks.
See, like, I'm honestly trying everything. And
That was a few years ago.
yeah, I actually really had
Still, I
fun
mean,
doing
that's,
that.
That's the end thing now is the last couple of years people go, let's paint rocks. And
Yeah.
you'll hide them.
Yeah.
People find them, especially the kids. They love to find them. And
Yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed doing that. And I wasn't sure.
She
you know,
did strawberries
people-
that looked exactly like strawberries.
Yes, that was funny. I mean, there's so many things you can do with art. Like, I think even in school, for me, what was really hard was saying you can do it. Like, I don't think they give a lot of options on what you can do with art. Like, there are so many things that you can do.
That's on wood.
Yeah,
yeah, I've got a couple, one or two pieces here of yours that are on wood. And
Gotcha.
those are
yeah,
a lot of lines in this I'm seeing.
totally, yeah. And that's a different kind of style, too. I mean, like, it's not really that, it's got a lot of texture in there, and I love animals, too. I think, for me, a top thing to do would be animals. Like, I've always loved them growing up, and I've always been around, like, horses, and so when I get to kind of capture their feeling, I think that's kind of what I enjoy doing, is capturing a feeling in a moment. And
All right, explain that one.
I love Lucy.
So do I.
I love her. She's hilarious. What I love about that piece is she doesn't really know how to sew. So it kills me because
Lucy
it's in
wasn't
the
very good at anything, really.
No, it was the time that you should know how to sew. You know, like you
Yeah.
had to. You kind of. I mean, even now, like I can barely sew on a button. It would be nice to learn how to sew
Yeah,
on a
that's
button.
my fault.
But no, but honestly, and I love her. She's so funny. I think she's the comedy. I have her whole
Catalog?
series. Like I have
Yeah.
her whole things on DVD, and she's just actually really funny. Like you
She
think it's
is.
slow, but you watch it and it's not. It's hilarious. So
You'd probably enjoy Carol Burnett too as a comedian. She is hilarious.
Yeah, she is.
That show was, I grew up
Yeah,
crying my eyes out laughing at her
yeah,
every
it's
night.
true.
they're just so bold.
And they
love
would
that.
laugh on their set too, which would make you laugh, right? Because
Yeah.
they would be like laughing.
And it was done
too hard.
live, and they left it in there
So
because that was
great.
part of it. Not part of the act, but if it happened, it happened.
They
Right?
let it go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was such a
I
great
love
show.
old school, man. I grew up off of like Roy Rogers and like we're talking Little
Yeah.
House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
All those old.
You're an old soul.
I am. Yeah, I am. My grandma was like that too. She loved Elvis. She loved all those, and I think that's kind of where I fell in love with that. And they always had on VHS Roy Rogers, you know,
Roy Rogers, yeah.
Pollyanna,
Pollyanna,
Old Yeller,
you know,
all those little old
good-hearted shows. I mean, it's.
She liked Johnny Cash. I know when I would come home and I would hear Johnny Cash, I was like, she's painting something good.
She's
trying
painting
to
something.
come.
Yeah. If
Wow,
Johnny was on,
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, we got a painting coming. It would. Certain like
Mom
music, I
would
knew.
get excited. You knew
Yeah.
what was going on, yeah?
Try not to look at casual. Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, I know if they say the wrong thing too, that's never.
No.
It was always like touchy because I'd be like, if what they see, other people see, right? So I got nervous. I'd always be. I'm getting better though.
You have to wait till
Not
the
as
painting's
nervous.
finished. You can't be
Because
commenting
I'm like, it's
on it
not
halfway
finished
through.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of painting being finished, earlier this morning I was on Twitch and I was watching Bob Ross has got a Twitch channel now. I couldn't believe that, and then it was on there, and it's just endless Bob Ross stuff, right? For however long you want to keep it live.
It's mesmerizing.
But he goes from start to finish, and you kind of know what he's going to do, but just the way he makes that transformation from a blue sky to everything else that's in there, it's just blows my mind. I mean, and he just does it with such great ease. It's just
so natural.
I don't know, like it's literally like one stroke. He's like, he's very efficient.
He should have run for president for that guy. Or he can come to Canada and be our, well, he can't now, but that would have been...
That's awesome.
Anyway, I digress. Is there... See, we could sit here, I could sit here for hours and just talk to you guys.
No kidding.
It's getting to know you even more than I do, which is fun for me.
It's fun for me.
You're such a inspiration to me.
Thank you.
I mean, at such a young age. I mean, I wish I'd have had the brains back then to do what I wanted to do back then and just stay focused. That was my problem. I couldn't stay focused on something, right? You obviously don't have that.
Well, I'm still learning. I'm still learning so much, and it's people like you guys that, you know, you're inspiring me, and you don't know that, right? Like, you're that generation where I look up to. So, I mean,
oh boy, you're in trouble. No, that's it's nice of you to say that, and it works both ways. I mean, as my kids will anyway, we're not even going to get into that. So is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, or any place, or
shout out to I don't know. Shout out to, like, I'd like to say Confections Cake Co. in St. Albert. I'm so proud of them and seeing what they're doing with their awesome bakery, and they're, you know, doing custom cakes, and they're starting it all on their own.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there one day.
Yeah, you would love it. And you know, they're so young and like just doing it, and I think they don't sleep. So
sleep, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I think people who, you know, are working hard don't sleep, but yeah, so that's a shout out to them. Like, do you mean
how about your followers? She has amazing.
You know,
she has such great followers that they amaze me, and they're so kind, and shout out to all of them. Like,
I think Beryl and Beryl and all the people who've had me from the beginning, and then just like
Ryan, our neighbor, he was the first to buy paintings. Like we go over to our friends, they're our best friends, and there's paintings of Steph all over that he purchased at art shows. Like,
totally. Just the people who, you know, spread positivity. I just think there needs to be more of that. And, you know, I think that's kind of like the whole goal of what I do. I don't spread things to create drama or heat or whatever. There's too much of that in life already. Mm-hmm. So for me, I like to draw hope. And when people are doing the same thing back, like, they don't know how much that means to me. Like, like people like you and, you know, big role models in my life. You know, it makes you keep moving forward and believing that you can. And I think, like, little things like that make a big difference on someone's life. So, yeah, you, for example, believing in me, you know, that makes me keep going. I'm like, wow, like, I'm in an actual gallery, you know. So
I see so much potential in you. I mean, the sky's the limit, right, Mom?
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, because I already see it changing in the last couple of months. Her art is changing, and I'm like,
you're there every day.
You got to get more money, honey. Because see, like, if she can sell it, why should I say you? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's nice. I can't have every painting this girl makes, so I'm going to have to.
No, that's why you
get a job or something, right? You know? I get some freebies. I mean, let's be honest.
There's perks to being the momager. Is that what it is?
Momager, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you both for being here.
Yeah, you bet.
Like I said, we could go on, or at least I could go on for hours just listening to you and talking to you, and I'd love nothing more than to just sit back and let you guys talk. I'd like to be a fly on the wall sometimes. Just,
we talk.
Well, I believe it.
Can I do one more shout out?
Yeah, certainly.
Obviously it would be to God, because he's first. So sorry, I just can't leave him out. So he's a
huge part of your life.
Yeah, that would be my last shout out. Sorry.
But anyway, we got nothing but good things coming up for you.
You bet.
And sky's the limit, like I said, so I want to thank you both for being here, but I also have to take this time now to thank our sponsors, which is the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival. That's the other thing we didn't touch on, but we'll talk off camera about that.
Okay.
So the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival Society, we have Dalcon Visual Arts, we have Warren's Music. And Tanny Southern Gallery is one of our other artists. She's become one of our sponsors too.
Nice.
So with that being said, we're going to look at our sponsors, just make sure I haven't missed anybody, and we just want to say thank you to all of them. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube. We are on Podbean, which is the audio podcast, and you can also find us on iTunes.
Wow!
So we're slowly getting bigger. I won't say better, but we're hoping we're working that direction anyway. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody for listening and watching. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll have to do this again and see that smile.
I'd love to,
Smile. All right, everybody, have a great day, and we'll catch you soon.